way up here in New Hampshire. And when I was in college, I traveled all around the United States, and I saw a lot of the wind turbines that are installed here in the United States. I thought they were really cool. So I thought that this is a really interesting thing. I think I want to keep on researching this and find out even more about them. If you guys can hold your questions, I'll get to your questions in just 1 second, okay? Cool. So, I flew out here to Colorado, and now I go to school up in Boulder. I'm a graduate student up there, and I do research on wind turbines because I think they're so cool. And so that's where we are right there. I think this is a really cool picture. This is a picture taken from outer space.
Whoa.
At night. And so all the bright spots are where the lights are all on. And so that's a lot of people using energy and with all their lights on. Does anybody have any questions right now? A lot of questions. Yeah, we'll be able to get to a couple of them.
Windmills make electricity.
They do. You're absolutely right. You're really smart. Yeah. Do you have a question?
How far is it zoomed out? Is it from far in space or close in space?
This is from pretty far in outer space, out to where like the satellites.
How would they only make it so that it's a picture of the United States?
That's because that's where they aim to depict the camera at.
Oh.
Yeah.
Windmills make windmills?
Well, they turn the energy in the wind into a force, which turns the big rotor blades. So it does use force, yeah.
Who took that picture?
Who took this picture? I think it was a bunch of astronauts in the space station. So, I think I'm going to answer probably a lot of your questions coming right up, because I'm going to explain a lot about how wind turbines work in just a minute. So, we'll get to the rest of your questions. So, who knows what energy is? Energy. Cool. Can everybody say that with me? 1, 2, 3. Energy! Cool. So, what gives you energy? What? Food, right? And especially healthy food. That's what your parents and your teachers tell you, right? Healthy food. But we're not going to be talking about that kind of energy today. There's also another kind of energy. So a lot of you probably took the school bus today, or maybe you drove in on a race car, or your parents brought you, or maybe a friend's parents brought you. So what do you put inside a car in order to give it energy?
Oil.
Yeah.
Oil.
Oil, is it? Yeah. Gas, right.
Coal.
You know, cars used to run on coal.
Yeah,
They used to have steam engines.
Like trains.
Trains, right, exactly. So that's another form of energy. So often we put gas in, but nowadays there's a lot of really cool technology in cars which allows them to actually run on batteries, which is really cool.
Like, my dad, he ran out of the batteries.
Uh-oh.
We got a new one.
Is he stuck? Oh, you got a new one. Good. Yeah?
My mom's car has a battery and it's
Uh-huh. Cool. So, what kind of energy are we actually going to be talking about today? So, I have a question for you guys, and you can just shout out the answer. How do you turn on the lights? Light switch! Right, exactly. You guys are smart. And how do you turn on the computer? The power button, right. Right, but where does that power come from? What happens if you try to push the power button? What happens if you push the power button and doesn't turn on? What do you have to do?
You
But you have to plug it in, right? So the question is, where does the power to the light switch and the plug come from?
The windmill like brings the power to all the walls. Then all the power is just ready when you plug the plug in.
Right. So wind turbines are one of the ways that we get energy, and so this is electrical energy, right? It's all electricity. So how do we get the electricity to our houses? Well, yeah, the power lines. So you can see it's connected. The power lines are connected to the house there. And so this is a picture that you've probably seen those driving around, right? Yep. Yeah, and so these are really big ones that connect right to the power stations. So this is sort of how everything's connected, right? So we have all the different power plants, all the places that produce power up on top. So that's a hydro dam, and a nuclear plant, and a coal plant, and what is this? Solar panels, right. Satellites have solar panels, so that was right on point. So we can see that we connect all these power producers to us who use energy. So we're there in the home, or maybe we're in the school, and the school has to get power too, right? Or to connect it to factories, all kinds of buildings.
Factories are not good for the air. Yeah.
Sometimes they are.
Some factories only are not.
Yeah, some factories produce a lot of smoke and stuff, but some factories don't. So what kind of energy production are we missing here? The one I'm here to talk to you about today. Yeah.
Power plants.
Right, these are all power plants, particularly wind power plants.
Windmill.
Right.
See a windmill up there.
Right, and so I like wind turbines and windmills because, yeah, these ones are installed out in water, and so we can see that, you know, those are really, I think that's a really pretty scene.
How do the windmills bring the power?
They're connected through power lines, and I'll tell you how they make power in just a minute. Okay. And so this is one way of getting power, and so this is an example of a coal plant making power, and so you can see that there's some pollution coming out of there. So that's one reason why I like wind energy, is because it's clean. It doesn't have any pollution. It just captures the wind and turns it into electricity. So how many of you have ever wanted to be a superhero? Yeah? You know what? I was thinking, if I could be a superhero, what could I be? And then I got to thinking that it'd be really fun to pretend I was a superhero. If I could just get this coat. Not Superman. I don't know if this is any superhero that you've ever heard of.
Super Windmill Man. Batman.
Super Windmill Man. I like that. I was going to call myself just Wind Turbine Man, but, you know. Let's see. There we go. I did make that myself. The cool thing is, it spins. If I go run around outside, it'll actually spin. Yep. What does it say on my shirt? It says American Wind Power, and it has wind turbines right there. Turn around? Oh, I don't want to give away my secrets. That's my secret. Yep, from the wind, exactly.
Yeah.
It is. It's attached to my super wind turbine frame. So, do you guys know what this is? It's an airplane, right? And so a wind turbine blade works kind of like a airplane wing. As the wind flies over it, what gives the raises the airplane up in this air is the same thing that turns the wind turbine. And so, how many of you have ever been riding in a car and you stuck your hand out the window? Yeah, and you ever tilt your hand a little bit, you feel it go up and down, you can pretend your hand is an airplane?
And that's what dogs do, they stick out their tongue.
Yeah, dogs stick out their tongue. Right. But have you ever felt that force when you tilt your hand up and down? That's what a wind turbine blade does. That's how it spins.
Turn around.
Okay, I'll turn around just to remove the mystery.
It's a hole in your shorts. It's a box. It's a plastic. No, it's not. It's not a box. It's very I saw it.
Oh, I just gave away the next part. Okay, so this is the inside of a wind turbine. If you took the top off of it and the casing and you would look inside, that's what you would see. So, oh yeah, it's pretty cool, huh? So the wind turns the blades and it spins it, and here is the main, what we call the shaft, and then this is the gearbox, just like your cars have gearboxes.
Oh, I love to touch my mom's gearbox.
Oh yeah?
I do too.
So you're thinking of the shifter that shifts gears, right? And so then after the gearbox, we turn a generator. So any power plant that makes electricity uses a generator. And so there's a generator up in top of one of those wind turbines, and then that's connected through wires right to the power lines that bring you the power. So you can use the power that's coming out of that generator.
Oh yeah! It comes through the ground. We're using power right now, though.
We're using power right now. The lights, the projector that's putting the picture up there. I'm using food energy right now.
No, you are
I'm making energy. So I don't know. I'll have to take apart my head and see. So I have a question for you. Do you know when we first started using wind power and wind energy?
No. Since 1948.
It was a long time ago. Most people don't even know, because we used to use the wind power to explore the world in ships, right? So it's not the same. It doesn't make electricity, but it's still using the power in the wind to get around. Like Christopher Columbus and the Vikings. Yeah. So before we had electricity-producing wind turbines, we used to have windmills that would pump water or grind grain. So here are some windmills that were over in Europe. So they used to actually just turn, and it would turn a pump, and it would pump water up out of the ground, so people could water their crops, and they could drink the water too. Everybody drinks water from the ground. All the water that you drink comes up from the ground. It's clean and filtered. Don't worry.
It's delicious. It just goes unfiltered. What about oil?
Right.
What about oil?
So, we don't drink oil. Maybe I do if I'm a turbine, just to lubricate my gears. So, the first electricity-producing wind turbines were made quite a while ago. You can see that guy. He's wearing. He looks like he's from back in the day, from the early 1900s, almost 100 years ago. And
boys and girls, we cannot shout out. You're making it so Mr. Jake can't teach you new things. You need to raise your hand if you have a question or a comment when he asks you to.
So if I have a question that I want you to all answer, I'll let you know, okay? Otherwise, you can raise your hands and then I'll call on you.
You spin your windmill when you want us all to just answer at the same time.
That's a great idea. So if I spin my blades, that means I want you to all answer, okay? Cool. So the first couple wind turbines and windmills were pretty small. But nowadays, they're getting bigger and bigger. So why do we have to make them bigger and taller? Anybody know?
So then we have more electricity.
We have more electricity. Yeah, you? In the pink.
What's that for on the chair?
Oh, I'm going to explain what that is in 1 second. Well, actually, I can explain what this is right now. This is a little model of a wind turbine that I built. So see all the yellow things spinning?
Yeah.
Those are the gears. So you can see that the blades are turning really slow. But here this is the red thing on this end is the generator, and it's spinning really fast. And so that's what a gearbox does. Cool, huh?
I don't see these.
Yeah, it's spinning so fast it's hard to see.
Oh, I see it.
Yeah.
Where is it? There it is.
Yeah, there it is. But I can show it to you. You guys can come up and see it afterwards if you want, okay?
What about that other one?
This is a little model of a small one.
Cool.
I actually worked in New Hampshire where I used to live. I did a project installing some of these. They're actually much bigger than this on the top of the power line poles. And so they would actually just capture the wind and put it right onto the power grid right there. It's kind of cool. So, the reason why wind turbines have to get bigger and bigger is because, you see, this is the wind blowing. There's Mr. Wind on the left, and he's blowing. And if there's a house or a tree, we get a lot of turbulence. So the wind is all fluctuating and it's not quite as high speed. But if we put a wind turbine up high enough, it gets out of where the wind's all turbulent from the houses and so forth, and it's a lot higher wind speeds up here. So you can get more energy from the wind. So, who wants to see a little video about how wind turbines work? Alright, yeah, me too. That's a pretty cool video.
We've all seen those cranky old windmills on farms. They seem about as low-tech as you can get. Those old windmills are the predecessors for new modern wind turbines that generate electricity. The same wind that used to pump water for cattle is now turning giant wind turbines to power cities and homes. Okay, have a look at this wind farm in the California desert. A hot desert next to tall mountains. An ideal place.
So you can see that there's a lot of wind turbines there, right?
On the windy prairies of Wyoming.
Those are some big ones.
Now, today's wind turbines are much more complicated machines than the old prairie windmills, but the principle is the same. Both capture the wind's energy. Okay, here's how it works. First, a wind turbine blade works sort of like an airplane wing. Blowing air passes around both sides of the blade. The shape of the blade causes the air pressure to be uneven, higher on one side of the blade and lower on the other. And that's what makes it spin. The uneven pressure causes the blades to spin around the center of the turbine. On the top
like that.
is a weather vane that's connected to a computer to keep the turbine turned into the wind so it captures the most energy.
So if the wind's blowing from here, I would actually turn into the wind so I could still be capturing the energy. So I would turn to follow the
That's not
wind.
nearly fast enough to generate electricity by itself. So the rotor shaft spins a series of gears.
See, that's the gearbox right there.
About 1,800 revolutions per minute. And at that speed, the generator can produce...
There's the generator that actually makes the electricity. So when you spin the generator, it makes electricity to use.
Why are wind turbines so tall? Well, the higher up you go, the windier it is. More wind naturally means more electricity. And in many cases, larger turbines can also capture wind energy more efficiently. The blades can sweep a circle in the sky as long as a football field.
That's
Now, it's really
big. That's as long as a football field. Each one of those blades.
can generate enough
I'll give you an example of how big they are. One sec.
Clean energy for our homes and businesses.
So this is a picture of a big wind turbine, and these are workers up on top. They're really small compared to that thing, huh?
I can't even see it.
I know, they're tiny. They're smaller than the tip of my finger up there.
I can't see them. I can't see them.
So can you see them in the left picture over there?
Yeah.
Right. So I'm pointing at it with my turbine blade. Right there. Right? Over there. And so that's the same people up there. So that's a big turbine. So has anybody ever actually seen the Statue of Liberty?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, most of you have seen it in pictures, right? It's way over here, right? So this is the size of a wind turbine compared to the Statue of Liberty. Those things are huge. And there's a helicopter and a guy right there landing on top of a wind turbine. And so these things are big. So you guys want to see the biggest wind turbine in the world?
Yes.
It's right here.
Whoa.
So we'll see a person standing next to it in 1 second. Look at how big that is compared to that person.
It's big as another.
This is in Europe, actually. Whoa, you keep on looking up and up. Whoa!
Are you going to be the biggest? You'll be that.
Maybe when I grow up.
When you grow up, what? He's already married.
No, I'm not.
Looks like that ball is spinning.
Yeah, it is. So the front on that one is a half of a ball.
It looks like more like a football. It looks like a football. Or
the other
looks like a
Okay, so just to give you guys an idea of how big those things actually are, there's me, and there's a school bus that maybe you rode in on this morning.
What? That's you running?
Yeah, that's me running to catch the bus because I missed it.
I ride the bus to school and a lot of
So, if I take me in the bus and shrink us down to that small, that little red box is me and that other red box is the bus. This is how big they are compared to us. Whoa, right? Like that big, that's your bus right down there, and this right there, that's your bus, and that's the wind turbine. So the two in blue are the ones that they're working on right now. Those haven't been installed yet, but that's going to be in the next couple of years. They'll be installing ones these big.
Now you get my seats.
So wind turbines are often installed in like groups together. And so they're called wind farms. That's what it says up at the top. Wind farm. Can you guys say that with me?
Wind farms.
Right. So you can see there's a cow farm with wind turbines on it, which is kind of cool. And so there's some really pretty pictures of groups of wind turbines called wind farms. Nope, there's not going to be a tornado there. Hopefully not. So I'll get to some of your questions. Some of you guys have been very patient, waiting.
I saw a wind farm before.
You have? Yeah, there are some here in Colorado.
How tall are they?
How tall are they?
How many feet?
If you took the football field here and you stood it up on end, it would take 3 of those football fields to be as tall as a wind turbine.
Is the wind turbine taller than the sea? How do make the wind? How do make the wind?
How do we make the wind? Well, the wind is generated just from the sun heating up the earth and the wind blows. Because you know when you go outside and you have short hair, it doesn't get ruffled around like these girls do. But you know when you go outside and it's windy?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the wind turbines are to capture that energy.
Oh.
Yeah, so the wind blows over the blades and it spins the turbine and it produces electricity.
Oh.
Cool, huh?
Yeah.
I've seen a turbine shaped like an airplane.
Shaped like an airplane? That's cool. Is it they fly it like a kite?
It's actually stuck on a pole with wheels.
Oh, cool. Yes.
I saw one today.
You saw one today? I'm going to talk about that one you saw today, actually. Yeah.
I saw a wind turbine yesterday.
Yesterday? I bet you I'm going to talk about the same turbines that you saw yesterday. Yeah. They're like huge fans, but you know how fans spin? You plug them in and they spin to keep you cool? They blow air? Wind turbines are the opposite. They take the air and they spin it and they generate electricity rather than using it. So it's just the opposite of a fan. Exactly. Yeah.
Every time I get home from school, I see wind turbines because I have some up on the hill by my house.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
I can see wind turbines at my kitchen.
Oh, wow. That's cool. So, you guys want to see those turbines?
Yeah.
So here are actually some of the big wind turbines and the wind farms out in Colorado here. So this is out in so there's some in southwestern Colorado, up north by Wyoming. So they're big ones, just like we saw in the video. So there's some people, and they're a lot closer to the camera than those turbines are. So you can see there are lots of them all around the person taking the camera. But who wants to see? Whoops! Who wants to see what happens when wind turbines break? Yeah. So you know, they don't always work perfectly.
Well, what does it look like?
Across the Danish countryside, windmills stretch high above the tree line, gracefully harnessing Denmark's most abundant.
So the one over there is spinning too fast.
Extreme winds start to rage. These gentle giants can be pushed to the breaking point. Early in the morning, local residents notice a row of windmills spinning out of control.
So it's not supposed to spin that fast, but something's not working inside of it. Its computer has a problem with it. And so what they did is they were worried about it, so they moved everybody away from it. Right? All the people who lived right near it. Whoa! So that is a huge wind turbine that just destroyed itself.
A second look shows the centrifugal force shattering one of the
So first one of the blades broke, then the other blade chopped the tower right in half because it was spinning so fast. And it blew the pieces for a square mile. That's bigger than the whole school campus.
I hope that not happens.
No, it's not glass. So
Did it hurt your foot?
if you stepped on it, some of the pieces maybe. So you see they're collecting the pieces right now, and the tower is metal, and it cut the tower right in half.
and it could safely operate.
Where's the one that's getting back?
So that's the one that's on the ground, destroyed.
The collapse is a reminder that even a man-made
Is there any
machine
extra
can be
parts left?
pushed beyond its limits.
I don't think they're going to reuse any parts from that one. Boom! So we don't really want... So yes, it's exciting when they blow up, right? Hey kids! So it's really exciting when they blow up, but that's not really what we want to happen, because each one of those wind turbines costs about $2 million.
Whoa!
That's a lot of money. So the whole point is so that we don't have them destroyed, although it makes really cool and interesting videos. And so that's what... Yeah, that's a really cool picture of the lightning, huh?
Can we see a video of it?
No, actually, this picture was taken with a camera automatically. So it takes a picture every once in a while, and it happened to capture lightning striking right near. So all these turbines here are at the National Renewable Energy Laboratory, and so that's where a lot of the turbines are that maybe you guys saw the other day. So there's just like 3 or 4 big ones and a couple smaller ones. Have you guys ever seen that site? Kind of near here? Yeah, so that's, actually I worked there as well as at the university, and so what we do there is we do research on the turbines so they don't break as much. Yeah? What happens if lightning? That's a great question. So they actually the lightning will go down to the tower and just into the ground, and they're designed so that it won't hurt the turbine. Which if lightning strikes this turbine, it won't be as lucky.
It will do wind turbines. More power.
More power? Well, they don't want to actually try to capture that power because that's all of a sudden a lot of power all at once, and that would probably melt the wires that are going to it. It would be too much.
And then this crazy fast.
Yeah, you can wait. What happens if all of them break? Well, so they cost money to repair.
Like in the world.
Oh, in the world? Boy, I would be out of a job. But that's why we do research, so that doesn't happen. So, you guys want to see a quick video of the wind site? Yeah, it's taken from an airplane as we fly by. So this is the site that maybe some of you have seen on your way to or from school, or if you have ever gone up to Boulder, you might have seen these. And so that's the mountains right in the background. This is right here in Colorado. It's about 15 minutes away from here. And so I work in the trailer right over there. And so those are some really big turbines. And so, no, they haven't fallen yet, which is good. And so,
How much years do they last?
they're designed to last about 20 years, but a lot of them last longer. So that's a long time.
What about 100 years?
Yeah.
That would be
So,
20 years.
yeah. So I need a volunteer. How about you? Okay. So I'm just going to briefly kind of explain what I do for research a little bit. So, do you want to be a wind gust?
Okay.
Okay. So I'm going to be a wind turbine, and this is how a normal wind turbine works. So you're going to start over on that side of the room, over by my backpack. You're gonna walk up, and you're gonna give me just a little push when you come up here, because you're a wind gust, and I can't see you coming. Whoa! So that's what a normal wind turbine does. It doesn't know what kind of wind is coming. It just reacts to it. And sometimes when a big wind gust hits it, whoa! But here's what my research allows the wind turbine to do. Okay, come again. Aha! I saw you coming, Mr. Gust. You thought you were sneaky. Ah! One more time. Try again. Okay. Nice job. So that's what I do for research, is I essentially make the wind turbine smarter so it knows what's coming and it doesn't break as much because it can see the gust coming.
Does it have eyes?
No, but it uses it actually almost has eyes. It uses lasers to actually look at the wind ahead, just like your eyes look at the wind. And they can actually see the wind.
How do they know it's coming?
They're invisible lasers, so you can't actually see them.
Aw, no fair.
So, you guys want to see a video of a wind turbine getting built?
Yeah! Stop. How do I get pills?
So this is a big crane, and the trucks are coming in and delivering the parts. There's a tower. So they took a whole bunch of pictures, and then they sped up the video. So this would normally take about a day to do, or a couple days. So that's pieces of the tower. That's like my body.
Did they show it all built?
Yep. So that's a big crane. So this isn't even close to the biggest wind turbine. This is about an average size turbine.
What? It's gonna get trapped. What does average mean?
So that's where the generator is inside there. So this is the next day. Yeah. So this takes a couple days to do. Well, they're making a ramp up so they can deliver the blades. Because they're big.
Third day.
Third day.
Yeah. Oh. Fourth day.
Whoa, so they lift up the blades with the crane and they're attaching them to the what we call the hub.
And the crane is bigger, is almost as big as the windmill.
It is. Those are big cranes they use. Actually, for the biggest wind turbines are built in the world, they have to sometimes build special cranes just for that. Fourth day.
What'd some say?
So here they attach the crane to the top that goes up. Oh, it's going up on top of the tower. Cool, huh? Oh no, so there's a ladder that goes up on the inside, so you can climb up and down. Fifth day. No, they don't. Because also it's windier at night. You don't want to try to lift those blades up when it's windy, because the crane will. Whoa! There we go. It's spinning. No, this one doesn't get destroyed. Not many of them actually break. Only a couple of them do. But that took 5 days. So with the newest methods that they use for insulation, they can install one every day.
7 days.
Yep.
Why is it going to break?
No, it doesn't break. So there's another video of an installation. You guys want to see the installation of the car? So this is here in America. This is up in Washington State. Washington State. No, none of these were destroyed.
Whoa.
So they're installing about one every day here.
That was quick.
That was really quick, right? So this is at 3 a.m. and look at this, the fog's gonna roll out. And see, you can see the ones that's already installed. And it's just putting up more and more, so it's building a whole wind farm here.
They're doing a lot. It's doing 2 a day.
It's doing a couple of them a day.
It's doing it all over the world a day.
So they can see all the ones in the backgrounds.
It's doing 2,000 gazillion trillion
Yeah. You've seen those up in Washington? There's a lot of them up there, huh? Yeah. Born in Washington? I do too. Yeah.
Are they probably building a windmill right now?
I can't hear him.
Are they probably building a windmill right now?
What about a windmill right now?
Are they probably building a windmill right now?
I guarantee you, somewhere in the world, they're building a windmill right now.
Somewhere.
Yeah.
Are we dating? No.
You have, yeah. Hey kids, I can't hear the question. How sharp is the blade? That's a great question. Actually, the blades, what they do is they're actually pretty sharp along the front edge, so they can cut through the air. It's like it cuts through the air like a knife. Because if you had a big rounded blade, a front to the blade, and it's spinning really fast, that's producing a lot of drag. So what we call drag is if you stick your hand out the car window and you turn it like this, it pulls it back, right? But if you turn it like this and your hand is almost sharp, it goes through the air a lot easier, right? So the front of them are actually pretty sharp, and so every once in a while they go up and they actually clean all the bugs and everything and all the dirt off of this front edge so that it can be even more efficient and spin without having all that drag on the blades, so without slowing them down. Yeah.
Actually, I'll show you something. Where you work, it's actually near my house.
That's cool.
Another question. So when you're going to install the windmills, I wouldn't think you'd want it to be spinning when you're installing it. Or if there's a big giant windstorm, is there a way to slow down the turbine so it doesn't get dangerously spinning?
So when you're installing it, you have the crane that lifts it up, and actually, so it wouldn't actually be spinning when you're installing it. And so you lift it up with a crane and you attach it on, and then as soon as the crane is off and they release the brakes, then it can start spinning. But you can't install them when the wind is too high, because when it's windy and the crane lifts up all these blades, whoa, the crane's going to turn into the wind turbine. It might even blow over, because the crane wasn't designed to handle the wind on all those blades like that. Yeah.
Dad, you said that you saw the movements things that run through. They have like elections and things like that and put it in the houses.
Oh, cool. Very cool. Yeah. That's okay. If you think of it again, you can raise your hand. Yes. You.
What if somebody, what if they gets the right and it spins too early? What will happen if it's spinning too early?
If it spins too early when they're lifting it up with the crane? So it's actually, it won't actually spin until it's attached to the turbine. Because the turbine has the shaft that it's attached to that it will spin.
Well, what if it's attached to it and they're trying to get the blade up?
Oh, so usually they have brakes on here, just like the brakes on your car. They can actually put brakes and stop the shaft from spinning, so that if they're going to do maintenance or if they have to repair one of the blades, they can put the brakes on. So who hasn't asked a question yet that has a question? You. Yes? That would be a wild ride, and I wouldn't want to be on that blade. Yeah.
I've seen a lot of pinwheels in Kansas.
Kansas has a lot of them. You're right. Yeah. How did the windmill get what? Air in it? Well, so it's just the wind. You know how there's the wind blowing outside? Just when you go outside, and sometimes as the wind is really strong, whoa, it blows you over, right? So that's how the wind from in the atmosphere blows over these blades, just like it blows you, and it spins them. So they don't have air inside them. The air blows over them, and then it makes it spin. Yeah.
Well, if it's spinning too fast and the people are here, so it's ready to break.
So if it's spinning too fast, or if it's really windy, they don't go up there. No people go up inside, because that would be kind of dangerous. So actually, if it starts spinning, if the wind is blowing too hard, they actually can pitch the blades right out of the wind, so it's not grabbing any more wind, and then they put the brake on and they say, we're not even going to make any more energy because we don't want it to break in the really high winds. Who else hasn't asked a question yet? You. How far up? Probably about this high up. I got one right here. But that's actually not a real wind turbine. So the smallest ones are usually sometimes you can put it on an RV or a camper or a boat to charge up the batteries, and they just stick up twice the size of your school bus. 2 school buses stacked on top of each other, so it's not very high.
How much energy can one turbine produce?
One turbine, if it's running at full power, and so if the wind is fairly strong, that's enough power to one of these big ones that we're showing here. Not even the biggest ones, but just one of the average big ones, can produce enough power for about 2,000 homes, 2,000 houses. So that's a lot of power.
How much is a big one?
How much is the big one? About $2 million, and it's about what we call megawatts. That's how much power it produces. It's 2 megawatts.
How much homes does it?
About 2,000. Yeah.
But what happens if it's going super fast but the brakes are broken?
That's what happened actually in that video where the turbine got destroyed. It was spinning too fast and the brakes were broken, and inside the computer wasn't sensing that it was spinning that fast. So there's a couple things that went wrong, and the blade broke off and chopped the tower in half. And
So the people didn't know because the computer was off. It just like shut down.
well, the computer had a bug. It wasn't necessarily off. It just the sensor that was measuring how fast it was spinning, that sensor wasn't working.
So just,
Yeah. So it thought it was okay. The computer thought it was okay, but because the sensor was bad.
That were like working on the computer, like thought that it was going fine just because the computer was just like showing it how we thought it was, but it was actually out of control.
Right. It was out of control, and the computer didn't know it, and so that's a big problem. Yeah.
What happens if it's off and the wind is going really fast?
If it's off, so what they do is they can actually change the angle of the blades like this. So that's actually called pitching the blades. And so as the wind gets faster and faster, you pitch the blades out of the wind so that there's no forces that are making it spin anymore. And then they put the brakes on, and sometimes they even turn it right out of the wind. So if the wind is coming this way, they say, you know what, we're just going to turn this way because the wind is too strong. We don't want to brake. You.
Yes. And how much energy can a turbine use in a day?
So it doesn't use energy, it actually makes energy.
Yeah, how many energy can it make in a day?
In a day, if it was running all day long, it would make how can I put this in terms? so that if it was running full speed all day, that would be enough for 2,000 homes all day, because you use power all day, right? And so power is how much electricity I'm producing right now. But energy is how much I produce over time. So all day I produce enough energy that on average about 2,000 homes use. So we're going to get back to some of your questions. Actually, you haven't asked a question yet, so you can go.
What do you think would happen if somebody was on the blade of the smallest windmill ever?
The smallest windmill ever, it might break. Actually, I did a project with some students when I was in New Hampshire. We had a wind tunnel, which actually forces wind through a tube, and we actually built little wind turbines, and we could actually change the blades, and it would spin and make electricity, and you could measure how much electricity it was making. So those are pretty small. They're about this big.
Like 1 house a day.
So you haven't asked a question either, so. When it's spinning really fast? Yeah, that's how they stop it, is they can pitch the blades out of the wind, and they put on the brakes, and slows it down, and sometimes they even turn it right up.
But then you said it was dangerous if it was spinning out control?
Oh, so if the wind was too fast, this is what they do. But can they stop it if it starts spinning too fast? Well, usually they'll stop it as soon as it starts spinning too fast. Usually they shut it down.
But what happens if there's a tornado stronger than a windstorm?
Well, then I wouldn't want to be a wind turbine in a tornado. That's a lot of twisting forces and twists it and probably brings it right down. So I have a couple other things to show you guys. You haven't asked a question either, sorry.
What happens if they put the wind turbines too close to each other?
What happens is, so I'm a wind turbine, right? And I'm extracting energy from the wind. And if there's another wind turbine right behind me, well, I'm extracting some of the energy out of the wind, so there's less energy for the guy that's right behind me. So what we need to do is we need to have spacing in the wind farm where he's far enough behind so that when I take energy out of the wind stream can sort of speed back up before it gets to the next wind turbine.
I was thinking, what happens to the side if the blades hit each other?
Oh, they don't install them that close to each other because they don't want that to happen. That would be really expensive. What happens? If the blades did hit each other? Oh, they would probably explode. It would probably look something similar to that video there.
Okay, we're going to let Mr. Jake talk. We only have about 5 more minutes, so we want to hear anything he has to say.
So I just have a couple more things to mention. So one thing that's becoming more and more popular, like over in Europe, we haven't done it over in America yet, but we're about to probably install our first one, is install these wind farms offshore. So that means out in the ocean. And so when we install them out in the ocean, we can install them even bigger. Just really, really huge wind turbines out there. And so, for instance, this little platform here is a platform that could hold all of you. All of you together could be on this little tiny platform at the base of this wind turbine. So these things are really, really big. And I do have a really quick video. This is one of my favorite pictures. So, what is it? This is an offshore wind farm. And you see it looks like the wind turbines are producing smoke. It's not actually smoke, it's fog. So, because the wind turbine is extracting energy from the wind, it actually creates a fog behind it. And you can see that they put the wind turbines pretty far apart, right? So their blades probably won't hit each other. But they put them far enough apart so that the wind that goes through this one and it extracts some of the energy, the wind stream can speed back up before it gets to the next one. So that's why they put so much distance between each one. You can't just put them right next to each other. Yeah.
In airports, there's a train, and you can see on the walls there are
the little pinwheels.
Yeah. And they produce the energy when the train goes by.
Actually, I don't know if those produce energy or not. Do they?
Yeah,
Maybe.
I think I do. Like when they install them, they can spin, and then that's what they use for the train, and then the next one they use that energy.
Oh, cool. I didn't know if they actually have generators on those or not. Well, that's actually all I have.
Rainbow!
There's 2 rainbows. There's one there, and there's a little faint one over there on the far side. I think this is a really pretty picture.
Rainbow. What's their